Hey, what's up, guys? This is Benito, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today is about code focus. So, are you ready to start developing your own Android app? This beginner guide is for you. I'll take you through the entire process using Android Studio, from setting up the development environment to publishing your app to Google Play Store. With this step-by-step video tutorial, you can easily follow along and build your own Android app. Whether you're just starting or want to refresh your skills, this guide has everything. Let's get started. First, you'll need a computer. You'll need an Android Studio, a compatible Android device, and basic knowledge of or basic understanding of Java programming. So before you can start building your app, you need to have an Android Studio installed, and if you don't have, you can get it from the Android developers website. This is the link, and please download if you have not yet downloaded and install it. Open up the Android Studio and click on new project, then select an empty activity, click next. So here we are going to give the name, and our app is about a click counter app. Let's say click counter app. Okay, click counter app. The language we are going to use is Java, and the minimum SDK. So this SDK, it's all about the Android version that your app is going to be supported. What are the devices that will run this app, or this app is going to run on which devices? So nowadays, because Android has evolved, so it's good to have at least a modern operating system. This app, we are going to pick the Android 6 version, then click finish. So guys, our application has already finished building and downloading the necessary Gradle files. So here we have main activity.java. Like, all the functions are written under this file. Then the main activity, this is basically the screen that the user is going to see, where you are going to design the UI, add the buttons, add images, add text, etc. You can also add a new activity by going to the resource folder and clicking on the layouts, then right click and click new, then go to activity, and you can choose any activity that you want. Either it's basic, either it's empty activity, either you have you want for bottom navigation, or a fragment, or a full screen, or a login screen, whichever you want. So let's go to our main activity .xml file and start to design it. So I can split this so that I can see the code, and I will remove the text. Then I can go back to design so that I can add some buttons on it. Let's take this, drag and drop. So we are using constraint layout. So let's add a constraint. A constraint is just like a margin. So here we are going to add a margin bottom of, let's say, 16. That is 16. Then we can give you margin left of 8 dp, and also another for the right side 8dp. Let's add another button. And also this one has a constraint of, let's say, also 16dp, and we can give it a margin left of 8dp and a margin right of 8dp. Let's add a text view here. Let's give it a margin bottom of 8dp, margin left of 8, and also a margin left of 8. Let's add another text view that is going to display the counter. Let's give it a margin bottom of 8dp, a margin left of 8, and also a margin left of 8. Now let's rename these buttons. So this one we can put it 16. Then let's rename and let's put it at 0. Let's give it an ID of let's say this is txt counter display. Let's rename this to, let's give it number of times, and an ID of txt now of times. Okay. Also this button, this is the button that will increment the counter. Let's say in increment, or let's say click me, then ID, let's say btn counter increment, and also this one, let's give it the name reset, and ID, let's give it btn counter decrement. Let's go to the split mode and let's increase this font and say text size, let's say it's 40 sp. We are going to use sp because we are applying it to the text and not images. Images are the ones that are going to use dp. Now let's write the Java code to make the code functional, and I'm going to define some variables for the button and the text. So here we have we need to use private members and private button. So we have one button for reset and one for increasing the counter. We can say button btn counter in, then we say btn counter decrease, and we close like that. Then we define another variable for text view. Txt display counter, and then let's define the counter private and initialize it to 0, so that when we start incrementing, it will start from 0, incrementing plus 1 up to infinity. On the onCreate, let's now assign these variables to the buttons and the text using the IDs. So we are going to use find view by ID. Increase is equals into bracket button find view by ID. Let's say r.id dot, now the button increment. Then we go to the other one, assign the button decrement is equals to bracket find view by r.id dot, now the button decrement, also the text for displaying. So txt display counter is equals text view. Let's find it by ID, r.id. The R stands for resource, and it's a Java class for resource files, whereby you can use it to find items that you have assigned ID to. So here it's display. Now let's implement the button click. Btn counter increase dot set on click listener, then you say new view dot on click listener, increment the counter plus plus, then now we assign the new value of the counter to the text view display counter. So it will be txt display counter dot set text. Now we say integer because it's integer. We are converting from integer to string. Integer dot to string. Now the variable counter. So that one is done. We are going to do the same to the reset button. So let's say btn decrease dot set on click listener new view dot on click listener. So we say counter is equals 0. We initialize it back to 0. We display the text of the counter, set text integer, converting the integer back to string, integer dot to string, then counter. If you are to decrease, you'd use counter minus minus. So that one is going to be used as to decrease the counter value. So with that, I'll run the app and test its functionality. Now we have completed writing the Java code and it's time to run it. And in Android Studio, you're going to click on this play button so that you can run your app. And you can either use emulator. This is provided by the Android Studio IDE, or you can still use your physical device.
You like an animal. Without me, you're not like everyone. That's he's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the sea. Because we are the team. You see that better than trees. You like a lonely man. Without me, you're not like everyone. That's he's why I choose you. You're the one who can make me happy. Oh, you know you're in love when you come for the sea. Because we are the team. You see that better than trees.
Congratulations, you have just created your first Android app. With a little bit of practice, you'll be a pro at Android app development in no time. So guys, that's it for this tutorial, and thanks for watching. And if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and also comment. Tell me what you want me to do on the next video. See you next time.